Hey everybody, this is Strategywizard again, and today I'm going to be doing another one of my videos where I address the critics on BoardGameGeek.com that do not like a game that I do really enjoy. And again, just want to remind everyone this is partly in fun, partly because I like to be able to address these kind of things for my own sake and see what people don't like, but also for you, you can see what people don't like about a game that I've given a positive review of to see the other side of the story. Maybe there's something I didn't think about, or maybe there's something that is a legitimate reason why you might not like it. So let's go ahead and get started. I always start usually starting with the ones, but I just wanted to mention this 6 I just happened to see right off the bat whenever I got to the comments on BoardGameGeek.com. This guy says, slightly better than King of Tokyo, but more chaotic and less control overall. I find that interesting because King of Tokyo is extremely popular, and no doubt this game is compared to King of Tokyo. I typically hear people say that King of Tokyo is better. I just found it interesting that this guy actually seems to think that King of Tokyo is worse, but he still gave this only a 6. So he apparently doesn't like this type of game. I just thought that was interesting. Now, just so you know, on BoardGameGeek.com, it has a 6.8 overall average rating, which is, I gave it an 8 out of 10, so obviously I'm above average. But there's a lot of 8s. See, here's the general breakdown. There's 11 10 stars, 42 9s, so there's not that many people who just really, really like it. There's 244 8s, so I'm in good company. There's 284 7s, 215 6s, then it drops off down to 54 5s, 30 4s, 12 3s, 4 2s, and 2 1s. As you can see, there's not a lot of ratings on this game. I guess whenever King of Tokyo and this came out around the same time, King of Tokyo must have just taken the forefront, and Ultimate Warriorz must have just fallen by the wayside and just didn't get the popularity and notice that King of Tokyo did. So I don't know how many I'll be able to do with the low ratings, but hopefully we'll be able to at least get a good idea. I'll just go up as high as I need to get a sufficient number of comments and opinions so you can kind of see what these people don't like. Let's go ahead and start with the ones if there's any comments at all. Okay, there are. There's out of the 2 1s, both people left a comment. Good. This first guy says, no fun, just randomness. Well, I'll admit there is a good bit of randomness. I mean, the dice, there's almost no dice mitigation. To the extent that you do, it's only the lucky charm that you have that lets you either make your opponent re-roll 3 of their dice in case they rolled a lot of hits, or you can make them flip over a die to the opposite side, which is a guaranteed way to make a 6 or a 5 a failure more than likely in most cases. So yeah, there is a good bit of randomness. However, the card choice that you do, that's really where your input and your strategy can affect the game, because your cards range from not being able to move at all to being able to move up to 2 spaces. They range from being able to do a melee attack to a ranged attack, and everyone has at least has only probably one card that lets you do both a ranged and a melee attack, and everyone has 2 special abilities. There's 2 cards that have some kind of special ability. So those cards are what gives you the strategy in this game. Paying attention to what everyone else has played, because if you've noticed that they've played a lot of their ranged attacks and you know that they only have melee attacks left or almost only, you can make your strategy change, because some of the cards, Initiative 1, which goes last, you don't get to move, but you get to do a lot of melee dice. So if you know that most people have lost their range, there's a good chance they might end up moving to where you are, which means if they do move to where you are to do a melee attack, if they stop their turn there, that's a chance for you to use your 1. So you may not be able to move, but if they end on you, you smash them for probably some pretty good damage. So, I mean, you have to pay attention. It's good for, watching what other people have played, remembering that, and trying to play the card that's best for you and to get the most out of it. Yeah, the actual die rolls are luck-based, but I think the cards really do make a great way of giving you a lot of choice that makes a difference. Okay, the next guy says, all the very minor flaws of King of Tokyo, a game I thoroughly enjoy, taken to absurd extreme without anything to compensate. Obviously, he probably means the luck. The fact that in King of Tokyo, for one, you get to reroll in King of Tokyo, and also it's not just about doing damage. You can get energy in King of Tokyo. You can get points, but if you get 3 3s, 3 2s, 3 1s on your die rolls. So you have the damage, you've got the energy, you can heal yourself. So yeah, in King of Tokyo, chances are whenever you roll, you're going to get something good. You're either going to do a little bit of damage, get a little bit of energy, heal yourself a little bit, or maybe get some points. It's almost never that you're just going to have a horrible roll. While in Ultimate Warriorz, you could just have a dud roll. But the thing is, in my opinion, what makes it okay whenever you choose your characters, if you choose one of the high HP characters like the dragon, Zemioclicus, or the Baobab, they have tons of HP, but their defense is really low, so it's easy to get hits. If you choose someone with very little HP, like the Musketeer or the Goblin or the Orc, or the Ninja, they may have very little HP, but their defense is very high, so it's hard to hit them. So who you choose is another element of strategy that makes a big difference. Now, in King of Tokyo, the base game of King of Tokyo didn't even have any special anything whenever it came to what character you chose. They were all the same. In here, they're all different, and that's a cool thing. And the simple fact of the matter is the HP is a huge one, because how much damage you do is largely based on, are you fighting someone who has high defense or not? And your cards affect your defense. So even the ones that have typically high defense, everyone has a range of defense that their cards will allow them to have. So it's also about timing. Whenever you see that someone has left themselves open for having the lowest defense, that's the time to jump in there if you can and try to do something quick before they change it back to have a chance of doing more damage. I mean, it's that kind of control that, yes, even though compared to King of Tokyo, there's definitely more luck, there's actually probably more control than you realize you have. So that, at least in my opinion. But I can understand why people would be bothered by it. In the twos, none of the four people, well, it says 4 twos, but I only see 3. I don't know, it must be a glitch in their system, but no one left a comment, so can't worry about that. Let's go to the threes. Okay, let's go to just comments, because I think there's a few people here. Okay, it's the kind of game you want to play when there's many players around, and yeah, because you can play up to 8, which is awesome. But it doesn't work with high player counts. Characters with low defense values will be attacked consistently as easy prey and will not survive. Characters with high defense will survive, but their low attack values will probably keep them from winning many points. The decisions are also not interesting. Besides choosing the card you'll play, yes, it's a filler, but there's nothing really to decide. Players tend to attack the easier target to secure points. Moves are a bit blind. There are no alternative strategies. It's game just to fool around. I think maybe that was a typo. It'll provide a clumsy excuse to roll some dice and see what happens. So, in my opinion, I do understand where the guy's coming from. I do, but see, he says you're always going to target the ones with the lowest defense and the high HP because you're going to get a lot of points. To a certain extent, I agree. Yeah, you probably will try to do that a lot of the time. However, those people are not always going to be available to hit, because if they move out of the way, out of range, you may not be able to get to them. But also, sometimes you want to try to stop the ones who are lower on HP, because sometimes they're able to do things that can cause an upset, so to speak. Because if everyone's going to die, and those low HP guys that have the high defense that you think, I'm not going to get any points off them, that gives them a great chance of surviving to the end, and that's what makes them good. And people need to realize that. If you go and try to kill off the big guys, those little guys are going to come up from behind and win by just being the last man standing. So that's another thing I like about the game, is the fact that who you choose and who you decide to go after. And if you have a lot of people, there's a lot of negotiation going on. You can say, listen, you need to go after this guy. Listen, this guy he's not doing much. He's over there. He's hard to kill, I know, but he's going to come in and end up being the last man standing. And like I'll give you an example. We just played a game. Me and Nathan we played teams, and in the team variant, both players play multiple characters, and we both played 4 and 4. So we had all 8 characters on the board. By the time it was over, we both had one person left, and I don't remember who it was I had. I think my Musketeer might have, or maybe I had 2 left. I can't remember. No, I think I only had 1 left. I think it was the Musketeer, who has the lowest HP but the highest defense, and he had, I think, the Goblin, who has he's also one of the characters that has very low HP but a lot of defense. Why? Precisely because of what this guy's saying, which is you want to go for those points, but you need to remember, those little guys, those are the ones that are probably going to make it, and you need to get rid. And you have reasons to want to get rid of them too. That's what makes the game interesting. You're negotiating with other people. You're saying, listen, this little guy, you may not get many points, but we've got to take him down before it's too late. I mean, I like it. I like it. The more I'm talking about it, the more I get excited. So let me go ahead and move on. You know what I think about what he said. I understand the whole issue of, the big guys give you more points, but they also have tons of HP, which means chances are it will be hard to kill them because they just have a lot of HP. But I understand the problem, but I don't think it's a problem because it's just another part of the strategy, in my opinion. Okay, this guy says, LOL, this game is pretty bad. Super random. It's all about rolling high numbers. Not sure why Matago is publishing this. Again, yeah, there is some randomness, but I still think the cards make a big difference to help mitigate that. Tries to ride on the King of Tokyo wave, but fails miserably. Way too long, with way too much downtime. Downtime? I mean, it's literally... if you had 8 players, I could see there being some downtime because you have to wait for all 7 other players, but any game with 8 players is probably going to have a good bit of downtime, so I don't think that's such a big deal. And that's only if you play with a lot of players. If you play with with 4 players, it's quick. You turn your card, you roll your dice, bam, that's it, pretty much. So I disagree there. Utterly unimaginative dice mechanism. Well, yeah, it's not imaginative. It's basic. You got to roll this to get a hit. But that's not bad necessarily. Do I wish it was a little different? Yeah, that's the one thing that kept me from giving it a higher score is the way the dice work. But I still think it works for this game. The game's meant to be easily accessible, quick, and give you that awesome 3-dimensional arena battle feeling. So it does a good job for what it's meant to be. They want to make it not too complex, super simple, and the dice mechanism works for that. So everyone understands it, so I'm not going to criticize them too much for that. Winner decided mainly through king making and table talk. Well, see, and I like that. I like the king making, maybe not so much, but I like the table talk. The fact that you're trying to get people, hey, don't go after me, go after this person. I think that's exciting and it makes the game fun because you actually, unlike in King of Tokyo, where the person in Tokyo is getting attacked by everybody else, and King of Tokyo, whoever's in Tokyo is attacking everybody else. So there's no choice in who you hurt, and here there is, and I think that's an important distinction between King of Tokyo that to me adds a lot of excitement for me personally. Okay, so this guy, now we're going to fours. So fours, this guy says, we all know that any game that replaces an S with a Z in the title bears the hallmarks of class and quality. Of course, talking about the fact that Ultimate Warriorz, it doesn't end in an S, it ends in a Z, so he's making fun of that. We know what to expect. Here, there's a simultaneous blind revelation of cards, each turn to determine turn order and smack strength. And then you just roll dice at each other to wear down hit points, with players being eliminated once hit points are gone. Last one standing wins. If multiple people are left standing after the last round, the player with the most hits wins. Or, in other simpler words, the players who win the most in the meta are picked on and eliminated first, meaning this is a great game choice for those who win less often in the meta. I don't know what he means by that. It provides some random fun as a one-off if played at pace, but it brings little new to the table, and I have no need to go back to the well. Well, what it brings... Now, I haven't played as many games as a lot of people have. There's no doubt about that. But I've yet to play a game that gives me this feel. See, he seems to think that it's just boring and doesn't really add anything new to the table. To me, what it adds new is, one, a lot of players can play, and it's quick and simple. And it gives you the arena combat in a way where you can talk to people about who you think they should attack, try to negotiate them to not go after you, and you're also doing the secret card placement, and paying attention to what cards they've played. So you have a lot of elements going on to me that I haven't seen in another game. And maybe there are other games that do this, but I haven't seen them, and I like the way this one does it. So I think it does have a place that's special in my collection. This was touted as being a King of Tokyo / New York killer by some, but I just can't see how that can possibly be. In those games, the Yahtzee mechanism coupled with the card play makes it feel more interesting than just rolling dice to attack people. I'll agree with him there. King of Tokyo is a great game. I really like King of Tokyo a lot, and so I agree totally with that. Ultimate Warriorz throws that all away and focuses solely on the dice rolling. No, I disagree with that. The card selection is very important, but he says there's no variation from game to game. I disagree with that. But he says it's just about which characters are participating versus which ones aren't. The game does utilize a very similar mechanism to Mission Red Planet, where you choose cards to play secretly, and they play out in descending order. Okay, that's true, or like Citadels. While I like this method, so I agree with him there. While I like this method, and I do too, it feels very awkward here. Some cards have special abilities, but most don't. It just gives you certain stats for the round, such as defense and the dice you roll. It sort of feels like a distant cousin to Lord of the Rings Confrontation and how it handles combat. I totally disagree there. Lord of the Rings Confrontation is like a Stratego game where you can't see what the opponent has, what their units are, and you move up and then you attack and see what happens. I mean, I see almost no similarity there. But I don't get it, but I really dislike that form of conflict resolution. This is just a very average game that does absolutely nothing for me. You might as well just roll dice and see who wins. Who would rather play King of Tokyo or better yet, King of New York? Oh, well, he said would rather play King of Tokyo or better yet, King of New York. Well, I can understand the issues. Again, the luck and the dice, all that stuff. I understand all that. But again, to me, the cards make a humongously wonderful addition that keeps it exciting. Okay, let's do a couple more. The tension of this game revolves around when to play your cards, as you'll only get to play each one once. Yeah, that's an important thing, and that's one of the things that makes the game interesting to me, is the fact that since you only play each one once, if you're paying attention to your opponents, you'll know, ooh, they don't have that anymore. They only have this left, and that'll help you deduce what the best thing is for you to do. I think that's an interesting mechanism. He says, gosh, I lost where I was. Do you play your best cards early, or do you save them for the end? Do you play a card that risks being useless, or one that guarantees you'll be able to hit someone? And I like that too. Sadly, those aren't very interesting questions. To me, they are. Also, I shouldn't have said guarantee hitting someone, as really you are only guaranteed to be able to swing at someone. That's true, because you might roll and not get lucky. As this game features randomness post-decision, so if the dice come up bad, you'll hit no one, and it is as if your turn never happened. That is true. That can happen. But in honesty, that kind of simulates real combat. Sometimes, if in reality in an arena, you go over there and you try to swing with a big hit, you might miss and leave yourself open to get hit by someone else. So that's not unrealistic. So thematically, I don't really even see that as a big deal. I think that's okay. It makes sense. That happens in real battles. So the best thing, I mean, it's like even in a boxing match, it's not like every time you swing, you're going to get a hit. Sometimes you're going to swing and you're going to miss, and then you get punched back. Or you'll swing and then you'll block. I mean, you just never know what's going to happen. That's the nature of a battle or a fight. Just because you attack does not mean you hit necessarily. So it fits the theme, in my opinion. So, where was I? The best thing about this game is that it plays very quickly. Now, I agree with that also. I think for the type of game this is, since there is a good bit of luck, yes, it should be quick, so I agree. The best thing about this game is that it plays very quickly. When the owner was setting up the game, I said to him, "Is this game from France?" He said, "Yes." "How did you know?" "Because," I said, "only the French toss casual racism and sexism into their games so nonchalantly." I don't even know what he's talking about. Racism and sexism. Okay, well, I'm stopping there because I am left baffled and confused. I don't understand. I look at this. Let me come on over here to get this stuff out of the way. What in the world are they talking about? I mean, let's see here. We have the lion. We've got the bull. We've got the dragon. I mean, there's not even any girls in here. So, what are they talking about? And what racism are they talking about? I'm totally confused. I mean, the Asian guy's a ninja. Is that supposed to be racism? Because how dare we stereotype Asian people as being ninjas? I mean, come on, that's just ridiculous. The Musketeers has hobbit feet. I mean, are we racist against hobbits because we're saying that hobbits are musketeers? I don't understand. The lion, this guy, the bull, is basically a matador. Are we trying to say that Mexican people are that Mexican bulls are matadors, and then somehow that's racist? I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm done. It's over. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Please help me understand that if you understand. If you know what they're talking about, please explain it to me, because I don't get it, and it's just kind of insulting to me, honestly, unless there's something I'm missing. So please let me know if there is. That being said, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Hopefully this was helpful to you in seeing what people don't like and helping you decide if this is a game that you would enjoy or not. And that being said, please, if you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the video if you want to see more. I'm going to try to continue doing these kind of videos because I do think it's helpful for everybody, for myself to see what people don't like, and for the viewers, so y'all can see why people don't like a game that I have given a good review for. So, moving forward, I hope you continue to watch. I look forward to seeing you on the next one. And until then, have a good day and a good week and whatever else. I'll see you then. Bye.